we now move to the middle of the country, the city of Chicago, Illinois, where we have the Citizen Law Enforcement Analysis and Reporting System that's come here. Hiram Grau, is that proper?
Hiram Grau.
Hiram Grau, thank you for that correction. And Jonathan Lewin, I hope I got that one right. All right.
Okay, thank you and good afternoon. On behalf of Mayor Richard M. Daley and Superintendent Philip J. Klein, we appreciate very much the opportunity to be a part of this process.
Mayor Daley has been here on many occasions, so we're glad to see Chicago represented again.
All right. In 2003, the city of Chicago led the country in homicides with 600. Obviously, we were very disturbed by that number, and one homicide is one homicide too many. So over the next 3.5 years, and under the direction of Superintendent Philip J. Klein, the Chicago Police Department embarked on a series of violence reduction initiatives that would take the city of Chicago from the homicide capital of the country to the lowest of all major cities. The CLEAR system allowed us to move forward with our technology implementations. We opened up our Central Intelligence and Information Hub for the department, and that's called the Deployment Operations Center. We just recently opened up our state-of-the-art Fusion Center on April 3rd, 2007, and the engine that drives both of those centers is the CLEAR system, the Citizen and Law Enforcement Analysis and Reporting System, which Commander Lewin will touch on in just a bit. A 3.5-year analysis reveals the following. Our homicides have been reduced by 613. That's 613 saved lives. Our aggravated batteries with firearms have been reduced by 8,734. That's 8,734 fewer shootings. And in 2003, we had the most homicides. In 2004, we had the fewest. In 2005, the fewest. And in 2006, the fewest. In fact, while crime rates are continuing to trend up across the country, our crime rates are trending down. A large part of our success is due to the implementation of the CLEAR system. CLEAR is the entire information system for the Chicago Police Department. And to touch on CLEAR a bit further, I introduce Commander Jonathan Lewin.
Thank you, Deputy. We're very excited about this opportunity that this award presents to share our ideas with the national law enforcement community. As Northwestern University noted in an evaluation of CLEAR last year, the benefits of information sharing among law enforcement agencies cannot be overstated. The lack of information sharing is often cited as the chief U.S. intelligence failure prior to the September 11th attacks. I'm convinced that through better information sharing, CLEAR has helped Chicago realize an unprecedented level of crime reduction since it began. It's helped strengthen our relationship with other law enforcement agencies and with the community to reduce crime. I'd like to very quickly provide some examples of CLEAR's novelty, effectiveness, significance, and transferability. CLEAR is novel in that it was designed by the people who use it, members of the department. CLEAR has broken down information sharing barriers both internally and externally. It provides real-time information to law enforcement officials when and where they need it, on desktop computers, mobile data terminals, Blackberries, and other mobile devices. It provides this real-time information to other law enforcement agencies as well. It's become a regional law enforcement information hub, sharing data across jurisdictional boundaries. It also provides a rich set of community engagement tools on the public web, ranging from interactive mapping to community crime alerts. The MacArthur Foundation has provided us with a grant to enhance these tools, representing the first time the foundation has ever directly funded any police department in their history. CLEAR's effectiveness is visible every day when over 30,000 law enforcement professionals in Chicago and at 400 local, state, and federal agencies use it to solve problems. It makes officers more effective through streamlining administrative functions and making access to information easier. What used to take 1.2 officers to accomplish before CLEAR can now be accomplished with one officer. According to a National Institute of Justice report, CLEAR has resulted in improved officer safety, more officer time on patrol, increased suspect leads, improved crime prevention, and improved coordination of intelligence operations. As noted by the Chicago Community Policing Evaluation Consortium, which is comprised of researchers from Northwestern University and the University of Illinois at Chicago, CLEAR provides an unprecedented availability of information to support decision-making and a framework for integration across criminal justice agencies, enabling unified strategies to reduce crime. This is significant because CLEAR is a comprehensive enterprise system used at all levels of the organization. It also, as Deputy Grau mentioned, powers Chicago's brand new real-time Fusion Center with advanced analytics. During a recent Department of Homeland Security site visit, the center was described by DHS as a national model when compared with 25 other cities that they visited. CLEAR technology is directly transferable to other law enforcement organizations. Law enforcement agencies around the world all face similar challenges. We've hosted over 400 site visits from other departments looking at CLEAR. I've done demonstrations throughout the country in places from coast to coast, sponsors ranging from the Department of Justice to Government Technology Magazine. We're now actually working with the U.S. Department of Defense for possible technology transfer to support peacekeeping efforts overseas. In fact, today, a member of my staff is working with DoD in West Virginia to begin exploring this possibility. CLEAR wouldn't have succeeded without the commitment and dedication of the Chicago police officers who use it every day to help make the communities they serve safer. And that's the key innovation here. It's not the technology, it's how we use it. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I turn to Ed, Dorn, and Maria, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, if I might. Help us understand, with maybe a concrete example or two, the connection between CLEAR and reducing homicides.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with just providing information. We can provide information on real-time crime conditions throughout the city, and that information is used to drive what's called our deployment operations process. So once a week, in fact, later today, there's going to be a meeting of command staff members where, using information from the CLEAR system that generates maps and other predictive kinds of analysis fused with gang intelligence information, we identify areas throughout the city that we think are likely to be the next hotspot for gang crime activity, other violent crime, and drug activity.
How is that different from what CompStat did in New York some years ago?
I think what's different here is just the comprehensive nature of this system. I've been out to New York several times. We were actually there looking at their real-time crime information center, which is a great center. But one of the things that CLEAR has is access to much, much, much more information. It's the largest transaction police information system in the U.S. So it's just vast quantities of information, all of which can be used to support all of these innovative policing strategies that the department engages in. That's what makes it different. And
could you also respond to the whole question? The MacArthur Foundation has come in with a grant. That's for interactive work with the citizens, as I understand it. And that's still in its infancy.
Correct. We've had interactive crime mapping up since 2001. We have millions of inquiries per year with that system. In fact, we just introduced a host of new features on the interactive web for the community, including real-time crime alerts and better mapping. But I think what MacArthur recognized is the potential of this to kind of transform the way we interact with the community to support community policing. So it really builds on CLEAR, builds on the efforts, and it's something we're very excited about.
Oh, terrific. Ed?
You invoked the name of Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security, twice during your presentation. It's not quite clear to me what the relationship is between the kinds of information that are available on your system and the kinds of information that we are told are highly relevant to DHS. For example, information about immigration status, information about the names on FBI watch list. It's not quite clear to me whether there is a matchup between those two sets of information.
Actually, there is a matchup. This is very much in its infancy right now. I think what DHS recognized when they visited us a couple weeks ago was just the potential of all the information that local police departments have, and if it can be made more accessible and usable in real time to drive what we're calling an all-crime, all-hazards approach to a fusion center, because obviously terrorist acts are criminal acts. So many of the kinds of pre-terrorist indicators that occur that could lead to other events happen at the local level and can be detected by robust information systems that local agencies have. And I think Chicago is very well positioned in that respect just because of the real-time nature of our system and how comprehensive it is, and I think that's what's been recognized. I was actually at a DHS Fusion Center conference in Florida a couple months ago, and many other police departments came up to us and said, how were you guys able to put your Fusion Center up so quickly? And the bottom line was that it was because of CLEAR, because we already had that information foundation that most other departments, even today, still do not have, which continues to surprise me.
All right. We have Maria, David, and Ella.
The comprehensive nature of the information, I mean, we're inundated with data. So the cop on the beat, what information is he accessing? Is the Fusion Center doing the first sifting? How does having all that data result in fewer homicides?
I'm glad you asked that question, because part of what CLEAR has to do, as you just mentioned, it has to provide the information in a useful way to provide actionable intelligence to the people that need it. One of the things that we just rolled out within the last year, which is an important point because CLEAR keeps evolving based on the needs of the users, and I've heard that. People tell us, look, this is information overload, this is too much. So what we give them is something called the District Intelligence Bulletin. This is a two-sided sheet that's available on both the mobile data terminals, and it can also be printed out, that goes through all the available information sources that we have and gives that beat officer on the street information they need to know for that tour of duty on recent gang disturbances, shootings, intelligence information, hotspots of possible crime. This is something the officers love. And I've heard, I don't have the data to back it up yet because it's so new, but I've heard a lot of anecdotal successes about its use.
Okay, David, last question.
So let's say I'm a cop on the beat, and I've got a laptop computer. Can you give me a couple of concrete examples of how that access to this information system is going to make me more effective in either preventing crime or capturing a suspect?
Well, one thing is, I mean, one of the greatest examples is access to photographs of wanted offenders. In the past, before the CLEAR system, all you'd get if you ran somebody's name on the system would be a hit, either this person's wanted or they're not. With CLEAR, we have almost 6 million mugshot images in our database, so we can bring back the picture of the wanted offender as well. Immediately, the officer can say, this is the person, this is not the person. They can determine within 3 seconds if this person is lying or telling the truth, and that is one of the key uses of the mobile data terminals.
Commander, thank you very, very much.